Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode. Uh, it is getting wild and flying high for NHL and MLB picks. I do have an NHL play today. I was going to pass on the slate, but one play was calling my name. So there is one more NHL play for me in the regular season. I did cash Dallas in regulation, which was supposed to be my last play of the regular season, but another one caught my eye here. So I will give that out here in a few seconds. We will start the show as we usually do. And of course, starting this weekend, won't be showing the NHL standings anymore, and we'll move over to the MLB standings and what happened in MLB yesterday, starting on the weekend or on Monday. But looking back at yesterday, the Islanders needed to win or needed to get a point to clinch a playoff spot, which they did. And in doing so, ended the Pittsburgh Penguins' long playoff consecutive streak. Um, and the Islanders are in the playoffs. Their opponent to be determined. Um, that kind of ties in with the game I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes. Dallas Stars in regulation, winner there. I didn't get to any player props, but I would have been on Joe Pavelski anytime goal, which I should have been on because he once again scored. He continues to find the back of the net. And in the final game there, Sharks and Flames, 3-1 Flames. Not really surprising there. A game I stayed off of. Looking at the NHL standings here, going up to the Metro. Um, Basically, Carolina, New Jersey, one of them is going to win the Metro, and one of them is going to face a wildcard team. And that will be determined by the result of tonight's games. The Atlantic is exactly set in stone here. Boston probably trying to get 135 points, 65 wins. They've already broken the point and single win total of a team in history of the NHL. Wildcard teams, Islanders of Florida, of course. What happens to Florida here will determine who gets to face Boston and who gets to face the winner of the Metro. Pittsburgh uh, on the bubble side, and the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference. Columbus, if they are smart, they will lose their next two games, and then they will finish in last place with the best odds to get Connor Bedard and the first overall pick. In the West, Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota. Dallas, Colorado fighting for the Central Division title. The winner will get a wild card team. Let me see here. Vegas 109. Yeah, the winner will get Seattle, and then the loser will get Minnesota. So we will see what happens here. People have asked me, do you want Dallas? Do you want Colorado? And it doesn't really make too much of a difference for me. Uh, I'd like to actually face Colorado, um, just because we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the playoff. Once we do the playoff show coming here shortly, I'll have some people, hopefully, have some people on with me. We'll talk playoffs and go over that. But in the Pacific, Vegas is going to win the Pacific unless something crazy happens here with them in Edmonton. It's the final game, I guess we'll decide it here. LA is in third, and then Seattle, Winnipeg, the wild card teams, and the rest of the teams are not in the playoffs. And Anaheim, Chicago, Anaheim and Chicago are fighting for last place in the Western Conference. Jonathan Taves announcing that he will not, or the Blackhawks announcing that they will not be resigning Jonathan Taves. So this will be his last game in Chicago. I know some people are going to take the Blackhawks because of that, and I hope they do win. I hope they do win because it will just make their odds of getting Connor Bedard a little bit less. So go Blackhawks! I hope you win this game, and then you don't win the draft lottery. But before we get to the comments, I will go through the one NHL game that I am betting today. Carolina Hurricanes, Florida Panthers. Carolina minus 115 to plus 101. Florida, minus 108 to minus 115. 6.5s right across the board. Florida at home here, facing a team in the Carolina Hurricanes that I think is overrated, a team that I don't trust and I believe will get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Florida, whether or not how their playoff future is going to go depends on this game. They need 1 point in this game to not have to face the Boston Bruins, who just broke, as I said, the NHL record, all-time record of points and wins in a season. You do not want to go and face that team. If there's any team that's going to break the President's Trophy curse, it's this Boston Bruins team with breaking the records. You don't want to face them. Florida needs to get this game to overtime to not face them. I think Florida wins. I think this is a great price for the Panthers at home, who will be motivated in this game. Anybody doesn't want to face Boston. So I'm sure the Panthers will be motivated in this game. I like them to win here. I'm not a fan of this Carolina Hurricanes team with what management's done this season. So give me Panthers on the money line here. What's up, Terry? I smash like. Thank you, Richie. You always do. Lane Elliott, Terry. Lane, what's up? Nice to see you. Hey, Terry. Hey, Crystal. Good day, Terry. Smash like after Richie. Oh, thanks, Brian. You already know my best bet, Terry. Yes, I know. Well, I think I know, but I know. Playoffs, bye-bye Penguins. Yes, unfortunately. So I went from not betting NHL to 4 sides and all 15 games over the total. Yikes. I will say I was thinking about the totals, and you have to think that players are not going to want to block shots, especially teams that don't care, bottom feeders. They're not going to want to block a shot. Why get hurt or have to block a shot when it doesn't matter? So that's a good reason to look to the overs. My thing though is some players are just going to be skating around and not really doing too much, just waiting for the game to end. So while I do see goals, I also see some players not really motivated to do much, and that kind of keeps me off totals. But I could see some overs, yes. Best bet, Captain Bry is going to get it in early because he has a. If anyone else has anything in the Tampa Bay Rays game as best bet, feel free to give it out now. But you still do have some time. Tampa Bay first 5 minus a half plus Cincinnati money line plus 200. You joking about Tate's last game just when I thought we could be friends? You go ahead and do this. I'm sorry, Tate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, hey, the Blackhawks go and win for him. Go and win for your captain, and get less odds of getting Connor Bedard. Fine with me. Tate's last goal plus 1400. Hey, best of luck. Yes. Go Canes. I want to go to game 1. Yeah, of course you do. You don't want to face Boston. We all know what's going to happen if the Islanders face Boston. So yeah, you definitely don't want that. Crystal is going to go Lodolo, Crystal, Cincinnati, Lodolo over 7.5. I will have strikeout props coming. I know I've been kind of light on them so far to start the season. That's something I kind of wait a little bit for, but I'll definitely have some coming for sure. I knew Winnipeg would rest all their players, took advantage of Colorado and Reg minus 110 last night. There you go. I didn't know that they're resting their players, but it makes sense. Why play them? Love it. Brian loves it. So would an under be a good look for Hurricane? I've seen people on both sides. I don't know. Carolina is an under team for the most part. They don't really score too much, so and lines played well. So, but taking an under. Like I can see why Nick is taking all the overs. It's just I'm gonna take Florida, and that's it. That's it for the NHL today. Spring strikeouts today. Yes, we'll talk about that game right now as we head into baseball. And we'll talk about the first game here, which I have absolutely nothing in, so I'll be super quick. Oakland plus 190 to plus 210. Baltimore minus 238 to minus 225 to minus 250. Tens right across the board, a couple 9.5s in this one. I have no interest in backing Oakland, but if I was forced to make a play in this game, I would be taking Oakland against their former pitcher here. Irvin 0-2 with 9.35 ERA. Off to a definitely rough start for Baltimore. Maybe Oakland first five, but I don't trust this Oakland team, and I'm not gonna. I'd like to see Oakland win because I'm not really a fan of Baltimore personally, but I'm not going to bet Oakland just for that reason. So it is a stay off game here for me in this one. And I didn't even look at props, so don't have anything at all for this game here. Yeah, no point in playing. Yeah, no point in playing them. Craig Anderson's last game, I think that's very possible for the Sabres. Yes. Sabres money line. Athletics first five money line plus 175. Can't talk you off. A's and O's over. Yeah, I can see that too. I can see that too. Best bet for Nick is going to be New Jersey Devils -1. It's 110. Right. Over in the A's. Yeah, if you can get the 9.5, I'd like that. But once the number hits 10, although it might not really make too much of a difference, but I'd rather get a 9.5 than a 10 if I was going to bet the over. Going along to the next game here, which I don't know what just happened. It says that, but okay. Boston and Tampa Bay. Boston plus 200 to or plus 190 to plus 215. Tampa Bay minus 238 to minus 250. Eights. I see a 7.5 and an 8.5 in this game here. Continue to just back Tampa Bay. I'm not going to stop here. However, I will be betting against them at least once this weekend because I do believe their winning streak is going to come to an end against the Toronto Blue Jays in one of the three games, but not here. We have Springs against Kluber here. Springs 1-0 with a 0.00 ERA. Kluber 0-2 with a 6.48 ERA. Tampa Bay, the number one team in baseball against righties. Not a good spot for Kluber here. Tampa Bay -1.5. And then for player props, I'm doing Low and Lau. Apparently, one is Low and one is Lau. I don't know which one, but Brandon Lowe or Lau and Josh Lowe or Lau. I'm not sure which one is which, but both of them have been hitting well. Brandon 310 average on the season. Josh 385. Brandon 429 average in the last 7 days. Josh 333 average, and then against righties, Brandon 320 and Josh 381 average. Both players hitting the ball well, especially against righties, especially lately. So I took both of them to get a hit in a parlay, which I believe was plus 130, and a same game parlay for those two. And then I take Tampa Bay money line in parlays as well as the run line. I think they just continuing on. The one thing to note, there are some Boston players that do hit Springs very well, at least in the past. However, two of those guys are not in the lineup today, in Tapia, and there's another guy that I don't have here that's also not playing. So that helps Tampa. But the two guys for Boston, Bobby Dahlbeck and Alex Verdugo, both smashing the ball right now, and both hit well against Springs. So if you do want to fade Tampa Bay in some form, Bobby Dahlbeck and Alex Verdugo would be the way to go, in my opinion. Rays record 13-0 or 12-0. 12-0. I'm going to take a stab here, and if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. But best bet. Oh, you're going with the underdog here, right? Lane. Boston Red Sox. Fine. Boston Red Sox. All right. Tampa Bay until further notice. Yes, even against Toronto. Okay. I can't really with Tampa Bay. If you're going to ride them, you just keep riding them till they lose. But I'm predicting they're going to lose this weekend. So we'll see what game it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Raise all day. First 5 full game, etc. Yeah, exactly. Red Sox had their chance previous games. And Clear 9 is going to go with Tampa Bay Rays -1.5. I believe it's still plus money. Let's see here. Plus. Oh no, it was plus. I got it at plus money. Now the best odds you can get for it is -110. People are betting Tampa Bay, but I can see why. And Devers is one of the players, as well as Raimel Tapia, that hit springs very well. But because they're both lefties, they're not in the lineup. But that's good for Tampa Bay. Yoshida out too. All right. We will go on along to the next game. Philadelphia, Cincinnati. Philadelphia +110 to +115. Cincinnati -124 to -140. Nines. I see a 9.5 and an 8.5 as well in this one. And we have Falter on the mound for Philadelphia, Lodolo on the mound for Cincinnati. Both have pitched pretty well this year. Falter 2.61 ERA, 0-1 record. Lodolo 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. And while I do lean with Cincinnati in this game, I don't like this price. I don't like -135, -140. Not for the Cincinnati Reds. Maybe if they were playing Oakland or something like that, but not Cincinnati against Philadelphia. Looking at player props, Spencer Steer for Cincinnati. I have not recently checked to see if anybody is confirmed. The other 4 players I mentioned are all confirmed in. Nobody else has confirmed their lineup yet. So don't know if these players will actually be in or not, but if they are, I will be backing them in some form. Spencer Steer, 306 average this season, 350 in his last 7, 300 against lefties, and a 500 average, only in a few at bats, but a 500 average against Falter. And then for Philadelphia, Bryson Stott is hitting over 400 average in season last 7, and against lefties, he's a 333 average against the Dolo. And then Brandon Marsh, 387 on the season, 438 in his last 7 days, and 364 average against lefties. So Stott and Brandon Marsh will be the players I'll be targeting for Philadelphia, assuming that they are in the lineup. But I'd be leaning towards the under, probably the first 5 under as well. But I'm not going to get to a total. And this one's just kind of a pass right now for me. Except for those player props. If they're in the lineup, I'll have them to get a hit. Reds team total over 4.5 and the over 8.5. All right. Maybe India does good. Maybe. But we'll go on along to the next game here. Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. Minnesota +120 to +132. Yankees -139 to -150. 8.5s right across the board here. Now everyone knows I'm a Minnesota Wild fan for hockey. When it comes to baseball, I am a Blue Jays fan. But I do cheer for the Twins. I like to see them do well. And I bet on them quite a bit this season already. They're off to a great start. But this is the one team that I will not bet Minnesota not bet on Minnesota when they're facing the Yankees, even at this underdog price. Um, Minnesota the Yankees are 16-3 in the last 19 meetings. The Yankees 24-3 in the last 27 games at home against the Minnesota Twins. The Yankees dominate the Minnesota Twins. They have for years. And as much as I'm a Jays fan and I'd like to see the Yankees lose, you got to bet with your mind, not with your heart. And I think the Yankees are the right side here. At this price, I would look to the Yankees money line as a parlay piece, which I do have in uh, parlays. If you want to go with minus 145, minus 150, you're going to have to lay more, like a unit and a half. But Brito, 2-0 with a 0.90 ERA, has pitched great to start the season. Joe Ryan from Minnesota, he's also 2-0 with a 3.75 ERA. The difference is Yankees own the Twins, and when you look at against righties, Yankees are the sixth best team in baseball OPS, and Minnesota is 24th. So Yankees have the pitching advantage, Yankees have the hitting advantage, and Yankees have the domination advantage. And therefore it's a Yankee spot for me in this one. We and props for Minnesota. There's one guy, Donovan Solano. He's hitting 333 on the season, 375 his last 7 days, and 310 against righties. And then for the Yankees, Gleyber Torres, 371 on the season, 313 in the last seven, and 367 average against righties. Looking at our next game here, the Detroit Tigers against the Toronto Blue Jays. Detroit plus 190 to plus 200. Toronto minus 218 to minus 250. Nines and 9.5s in this one. And I was, I guess, a little rough on Chris Bassett after his first start, which was absolutely horrendous. But based on what I saw in spring training and what I saw from that first start, I was not very happy about the Bassett signing. He comes out against the Angels and gives up a 2-run homer to Mike Trout. And I thought, here we go again. But after that, pretty much lights out the rest of the game. Now he's coming here at home, playing or at home for in Toronto's home stadium, facing Detroit, a team that, if you're looking to boost your ERA and boost your overall records, Detroit's a good team to face in this one. I lean with the over, but I just don't trust this Detroit offense to really do too much of the scoring. Turnbull 0-2 with a 13.50 ERA, gave up 7 earned runs in his first game, 5 earned runs in his second game. Now he's coming to face one of the best offenses in baseball. Toronto on the run line here. But if you've been watching the show or if you follow me on Twitter, what else can I say about Matt Chapman? I'm out here talking about guys that are hitting 300. While Chapman, 489 in the season, 458 in his last 7 games, and 444 against right-handed pitchers. Also backing Vladdy, 417 on the year, 462 his last 7 games, last 7 days, and 387 against righties. You can get Matt Chapman over 1.5 bases at plus 120 at FanDuel, or you can parlay the Jays money line with Matt Chapman to get a hit, which I have as well, which I think is around minus 108 now on most spots. I would do that as well. I'm going to continue to back Chapman. 8 of 11 games, he has at least 2 bases, and I don't see that stopping against Turnbull, who's got absolutely lit up at this one. And they have Francie Cordero, LOL. Blue Jays run line, even though I got burnt yesterday with the run line. Yes, that's the one thing I do hate about run lines is that's going to happen. And that's why I parlay money lines. That's why I do parlays, especially with baseball, money line parlays. And the Jays are definitely in there. The bullpen. Yes, the bullpen. 2 more games left. Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals. Pittsburgh plus 200 to plus 229. St. Louis minus 250 to minus 270. 8.5s right across the board in this one here. No Pittsburgh props. Nobody that I really trust. Their one really good player that's been hitting well does not hit lefties whatsoever. So staying off Pittsburgh props for St. Louis. It's Paul Goldschmidt and Tyler O'Neill. Goldschmidt 364 on the year, 292 in his last 7 games, 344 against righties, and 357 average against Velasquez. Tyler O'Neill 282 average this year, 286 in his last 7, 345 against righties, and a 750 average, 3 for 4 against Velasquez. I like St. Louis. They are another money line parlay piece for me. I'm also on the Cardinals on the run line. I think they take care of business here at home against Pittsburgh. Pitching advantage, lineup advantage, home field advantage for the Cardinals in this one. Chapman hit with Blue Jays money line is a good look. Yes, it's been on my card for a while now, and I'm just gonna keep going with that one. Yep, Terry, I got those 2, and I like some props for G-Man Choi. Yeah, I did not look at. I don't have him on my list, but best of luck. Best of luck. Go to the last game, and then we'll get to the best bet segment. Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres. Milwaukee plus 125 to plus 136. San Diego minus 145 to minus 156. Nines, a couple 8.5s here. I did do my free play up on Picks and Parlays on the YouTube channel there yesterday with Lenny, and I gave out the over 8.5 in this game. However, since then, we do not know who is going to be on the mound for the Brewers. And it kind of matters to me at this point. So currently, I've not bet the game, but I will be looking to bet it, the over in this one, depending on the pitcher announced. And there's 3 guys from Milwaukee. I doubt that all 3 will be in the lineup. They're not regulars, but all 3 have been doing really well lately. William Contreras, 364 average, 471 in his last 7, 360 against righties. Garrett Mitchell, 316 average all in the season, 333 average last 7, 314 against righties. And Mike Berceau, 294 average on the season, 364 last 7 games, and 375 average against righties. None of those 3 players have faced Martinez before, but he's a righty and he's off to a rough start. So those are the 3 players I would target for Milwaukee, and kind of maybe a lean with Milwaukee here at this plus price, but most likely I'll probably be sticking to the over and those player props, depending on who's on the mound here for San Diego. But we'll go to the best bet segment, and we will take a look at what happened yesterday here. After an 0-5 start, I've won my last 5 best bets, and no big surprise, I stuck with Toronto money line and Chapman to get a hit at minus 115. Nick went with the New York Mets money line. Richie went with Rizzo and Stanton over half a hit, RBI, or run. Fortunately, Rizzo did not do anything. Tim went with Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5, which did cash. Crystal Cubs money line. Fortunately, they lost. Captain Bry went with the first 5 over 6.5, St. Louis, Colorado, Toronto run line, which did not cash. Kev went with Texas run line, Tampa Bay run line, and unfortunately, Texas lost. Clear and I went with Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 plus a half. You could have taken Diamondbacks minus a half, and you would have been totally fine. So plus money for the plus a half. I love it. And then Terry LaJoie went with Tampa Bay money line and Toronto money line. Wasn't looking good, but in the 9th inning, The Blue Jays tied it up and won in extra innings and cashed Terry and both of our best bets yesterday. Taking a look at the current standings for the month of April, Richie currently in first place, Clear and I am in second, Crystal in third, and then Icex and 4 of us here in the green, a few of us here in the red. Overall, if you bet everyone's best bet every day of the month so far, and you put 1 unit on everyone's best bet, you're up almost 18 units if you tailed everyone's best bet on the month of April. Looking at today, let me bring it up here. Put this here. Get the NHL for Knicks. For best bet today, just in case something crazy happens with Bassett and he does have a really bad game or the Jays don't win, I'm just going to stick with what's going, especially at plus money. Give me Chapman over 1.5 bases, plus 120. Captain Bry going with Tampa Bay first 5 -1/2 and Cincinnati money line. Crystal's going with the Dolo for Cincinnati over 7.5 strikeouts. Nick is going with the Devils -1. Lane is going with Boston Red Sox on the money line. Clear Nine is going with Tampa Bay Rays on the run line in this one. I like McCutcheon. I didn't really look too much at Pittsburgh stats, but really I like to see hitting over 300 season last 7 days against righty lefty split, and then I like to see them do well against that pitcher they're facing, if possible. Bum. Who's a bum? Who's a bum? Better not be talking about Chapman. No, I'm kidding. Best bet for Richie, which he has been mentioned quite a bit. Pavelski, anytime goal, plus Heiskanen assist. All right, and I will, of course, get you odds for that. If you want to bet that, I find that DraftKings is the best book for Pavelski goal and assist. Every single time I look at it, it's always DraftKings with the best odds. So DraftKings doesn't really like Pavelski or Heiskanen very much for some reason. But there you go. Give my McCutcheon stolen base just for fun. There you go. Plus 400. All right. What are you going to do for our best bet? McCutcheon. Over half a stolen base, right? Over half a stolen base. Why not? Plus 400. All right. Plus 18 units as a group is nice. Yes. Yes, I'm happy with it. That's great so far. Rizzo is the bum. Yes. Yesterday, yeah. He's a all or nothing type guy. No, not Chapman. Yeah. If someone was calling Chapman a bum, it would be like, what are you talking about? He's only the best hitter in baseball so far this year. I guess Luis Arias has a slightly better average, but it is what it is. Great start so far as a group. Let's keep it up. Yes. Let's keep it going today. Here's everyone's best bet for today. And if you want to add yours in, feel free. Put it in the comment section on the video. But that is it for today's show. Best of luck to everybody. We will see you again tomorrow for another episode, except it will just be flying high, free MLB picks. No more NHL until playoffs for me. That is a promise this time. I won't be betting tomorrow's games. But speaking of that, let me quickly, for anyone in the NHL, if you want to bet a player prop, I'm waiting until he's confirmed. I want to make sure he is in the lineup. But Gustav Nyquist from Minnesota. That is a player that I'm targeting. I was on him plus 500. Unfortunately, he didn't play against Winnipeg. If he is in the lineup, which he very well should be, and maybe on the top or second line, the Wild are resting a lot of guys against Nashville today. But if Nyquist is in the lineup, I will be on his anytime goal for whatever price that is. Most likely, probably around plus 500. So that is a player prop in hockey that if you want to tail me on, feel free. But best of luck to everybody, and we'll see you again for other episodes of Flying High MLB picks and getting wild when there's hockey on in the playoffs. Best of luck, guys.